Hello everyone, welcome to Yum Yum Africa. In today's video, I will be showing you how to make Fura Da Nono. Fura Da Nono simply means milk, millet and milk. The milk used for fura is fermented milk that tastes like yogurt but is not as thick as yogurt. Before we get started, I'd like to say a very big thank you to you if you're a subscriber and a returning viewer. If you're new to my channel, on this channel, I show you step-by-step way of making many popular African food with lots of tips to make the recipe error-proof for you to try it. I hope you enjoyed this video and subscribe to the channel. For today's recipe, we would be needing 3 cups of millet. If you're buying millet outside of Nigeria, there are so many different types of millet, and the millet that I find is most appropriate is the pearl millet. You can get this at the Asian store, or you could even try the Indian store. I actually got this from an Indian grocery store. So we need 3 cups of millet, half cup of clove powder, 1 teaspoon of cayenne pepper, half to 1 teaspoon of black pepper, and 1 to 1.5 teaspoon of ginger powder and some water. Now to get started, we have to blend or grind the millet. This you can use your blender. Depending on the strength of your blender, you may actually need to do a lot of cycle to get it really fine. I'm using a Vitamix. It's a strong blender, so it doesn't take as long as it would take if you were using a different type of blender. So regardless of the blender you're using, you just make sure the mixture is very fine and you will sieve until you're able to get it as fine as possible. Usually with the Vitamix, I get to do this just twice and it's sufficient. Now the first time, as you can see, it's not as fine. There's still a little bit of some millet that's not grounded. Now with my second cycle, you see the difference is a lot finer, and I find this is good. So I'm going to sieve it. So when you're blending or when you're grinding it, you can, if you're in Nigeria, of course, you use a local mill, which does a better and faster job actually. So, but if you're doing this at home, regardless of your blender, you just need to keep blending or grinding and sieving until you get a very fine powder. This can take a lot of time, so I've done a lot of this off camera as well. And this is what is left, which I'm going to discard. Now I'm going to measure 3 cups of millet, of the millet powder. The rest of the powder I'm going to leave to wrap the fura at the end of it, and you're going to see how that is used. I add the rest of the ingredients and mix them properly. Now I'm going to mix it with water, and you add the water little by little. so that it doesn't become very liquid. All what we're looking for is a nice paste at the end of the day, almost like clay. Be sure to add water gradually. But if for any reason you add excess water, just make sure you can add a little powder to kind of rescue or correct that mistake. But adding water gradually helps to prevent that. So now that we have the mixture in the consistency of clay, it's time to mold the fura. Traditionally, this is molded into round balls and cooked in hot water. But what I find is that while of course that works, it's quicker to cook when it's not as thick. So usually I have mine in the shape of donut, almost flat. And I got this idea from someone on YouTube to kind of make a hole in between, which I thought was really smart to also help it cook quicker. Now I'm adding the fura into the hot water and we're gonna leave it to cook for an hour. It's important to check from time to time. Sometimes it can get stuck to the bottom of the pot. So you just lift it and lift it up so it's not stuck to the bottom. It's been about an hour, so I'm going to check it to see how far it has come. Now it looks like the fura has been properly cooked. So I'm going to take everything out of the pot and save the water because we'll be using some of that in mixing the fura. Traditionally, the fura will be pounded in a mortar and pestle. Of course, we all know that's going to take a lot of time because I don't have a mortar and pestle. What I find is quicker is you use the hand blender. Sometimes you might have some of the fura getting stuck in the blade. You can take some time and just scoop it out and continue to blend it or mash it. Adding some of the water from the fura can help to also make the mashing easier. Now this is all done, so I'm washing my hands so I can start to finally roll the fura balls, if you want to call it that. I actually forgot the camera was not on, so I started to roll, but here goes. This is what I've been doing off camera. You roll the balls. You can use a bowl to help you roll it better, or you can use your hands, whichever one you feel that feels comfortable to you. And we just wrap it in the millet powder that we had left earlier for this purpose. You can make them into even smaller balls, like if you're going to store it for later. Sometimes I put this in the freezer, so I have to even cut them even smaller, so it's easier for my blender to blend when I need it. To make the fura, I usually would use kefir milk. This tastes like yogurt, but it's not as thick as yogurt. In Nigeria, of course, the nono, which is the locally fermented milk, just is the same consistency as this kefir milk. And that's why I find the kefir milk works better if you're outside of Nigeria. But of course, you can buy any yogurt and use any yogurt that has this consistency. For me, I find that the kefir milk not only is good for its consistency, it's also good for the taste. You can use the hand blender like I did earlier, but I find the easiest way is to just dump everything in the blender, the kefir milk, add the fura balls, if you can call it that, and just blend it. Add some ice cubes like you would make a smoothie. It's quicker, it gives you even a smoother fura. I know locally made fura is not very smooth, and that is because of the way it is mashed. They mash it with a spoon, so you have some clumps and lumps of fura inside, which is fine if you want it that way. But then you have, when you're drinking, you might be chewing on some pieces of fura. When you blend it, it's all nice and smooth, just like smoothie. You still get the very beautiful and tasty and spicy taste of Fura Da Nono. If you like some of those lumps inside and you still want to use your blender, just roll it for less time. That way you're gonna have a little bit of lumps in there. And as you can see, this is very smooth. With the ice cubes in it, it's smooth, it's very cold. You add your sugar to your taste. You add sugar to your taste and the fura is ready. There you go, Fura Da Nono. Like I said earlier, I store these balls in the freezer. I cut them up even smaller so that they're like ice cube size and it's easier to blend. And you can make fura on demand. If you have enjoyed this video, please comment, share, and subscribe. And don't forget to push the notification button so you know when next I upload new videos. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.